That Hagen Girl is a 1947 film starring a teenage Shirley Temple and is often cited as the worst movie in her filmography. Is it? I disagree. I've seen other Temple films and thought they were much harder to sit through than this. Is it a good movie? Well, let's see. The plot centers around that Hagen Girl, played by Shirley Temple. When she was born, and I say that in quotations, a resident of the town, played by Ronald Reagan, mysteriously disappeared. This causes the town to gossip and assume that Temple is Reagan's illegitimate child, and that he pawned her off on a couple to take care of. Throughout all of Temple's life, she's treated like trash, and then one day, Reagan comes back home. Of course, this stirs up a heap of trouble for both him and Temple. Okay, first let's talk about what I like. I like the plot. Why? Because it's such a horrifying depiction of how gossip can ruin lives. I've always been interested in films that explore the horrible nature of gossip. These three in The Children's Hour are great stories about that. And if you look past that and see how gossip has tarnished Hollywood careers like Fatty Arbuckle and Elizabeth Scott, it's easy to see something like this happening back then. I mean, Christ, she gets a bad reputation before she's born. In fact, that's all she did was be born, and that's enough for the whole town to hate her. Speaking of which, I know a lot of people don't like Shirley Temple in this film, but I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, she often plays the goody two-shoes girl, and here it's a nice change of pace. I like that the filmmakers didn't go the route of making her super likable. She can be kind of a brat sometimes. It's not because she's a bad kid, it's because of the emotional toll of being bullied all her life. I think that makes her more of a real person rather than a caricature to feel sorry for all the time. Yeah, she can be a little over the top at times, but I think she has some pretty good moments. I honestly think that if she was in the hands of a William Wyler or Howard Hawks, her performance would have been a little more consistent. I mean, this is unfamiliar territory for her, so I think it's only natural that it might have some rough patches. I mean, think of it, literally, she was trained all her life to play one role, so it can be hard for her to break away from that. I do agree with most people that Ronald Reagan isn't the best here, but to be fair, he was in a really bad place and actually was hospitalized during shooting, so cut the guy some slack. Lois Maxwell is in this film and does a pretty good job as Temple's teacher. She even earned a Golden Globe as most promising newcomer for her performance in this film. I will say that I think the very end of this film is terrible. Like, it kind of creeps me out. No, it definitely creeps me out. So I get why people might walk away from this film hating it, but I do think there are a lot of good things in here that are worth looking at. I'm not going to act like it's a great movie by any means, but again, I don't think this is Temple's worst film. And if you're curious, I think my least favorite Temple film is Honeymoon. That's all I'm going to say. So if you see that Hagen Girl pop up on TV in the future, give it a watch. Maybe you'll see some of the redeeming qualities I see and agree that it's definitely not one of the 50 worst films ever made. Yeah, that's right, it was included in that book.